Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. This is a quick one. Stuff to do. I said when this one opens I'd film it again. Dendrobium findlayanum. You can see the colour in the lip now and the patterning. Been waiting for that one to bloom for a very, very long time. 3 years, in fact. 3 years plus, in fact. But worth waiting for, I believe. The other buds should follow on very quickly. Second one just starting to open. The little game we played yesterday in the how long before the buds open, I didn't even bother putting the plant back. I just knew it was going to be either today or tomorrow. So effectively, okay, they're only just starting to open, they're not fully open yet, but one day. I knew that one was coming. So that's the first of the little game to actually open, one day from the original video. And as I go along, I've made a note of all the ones I filmed and their plant numbers and everything. It'll save me going back and watching that video each time something opens, so I can go back to my notes. I've put a date there, so all I've got to do is just refer to that, and then we can sort of revisit each plant as the blooms actually open. You can just see the colour inside to come. By tomorrow morning I would suggest at least half of those blooms will be fully open, the others will be starting, and yeah. It's quite a spectacle when it's fully open. Unfortunately it lasts about 10 to 12 days, and that's your lot. But boy, do those spikes grow fast. So I've got a video I'll do this afternoon. I'm playing games today because I'm at an orchid show tomorrow, Saturday. I won't be watering anything, and tomorrow sounds like the weather's not going to be too clever, but we could get some heat today. There's hopefully going to be some sunshine, so I'm not going to water my mounted orchids until later in the day. They all got watered yesterday, not early in the morning, sort of lunchtime-ish. They were the last thing that I watered yesterday. So today I'm going to water quite, like mid-afternoon, the idea being that it'll tide them over while I'm not watering on Saturday, and then I can get back at them Sunday morning again. But yeah, so that's the first one of our little set. Obviously I'll end up filming that several times because that's had a bit of a gap. I don't think it bloomed last year, but the year before it bloomed quite well. It's had a bit of a rest. Yeah, it looks like there's quite a few of the nubbins starting to push on, so hopefully a nice succession of these gorgeous spikes. It's effectively a cross between Farmeri and Griffithianum, and somebody actually asked me, apart from the colour of the blooms, what's the difference? And quite honestly, next to none. The plants look identical, they grow the same, they need the same care. The only difference is the coloration, and I forget which way round it is, but one of them is white with relatively palish yellow in the lip, and the other one is a pale yellow with the yellow in the lip. The combination of the two, the cross that I've got, is a fading effect. When these blooms open, they do have a yellow tinge with the deep yellow, but then they turn white very quickly, so that pale yellow colour disappears literally in a day or two, and then you end up with the white with the deep colour in the lip for the rest of their age, which is not long. That person also said, if I had to choose, which one would I have as a species? Well, it's whichever's the yellow one. You know I'm a sucker for the yellows and oranges and reds and stuff. You've got to look round at what's in bloom. But yeah, first one out of the set. I know which one's going to be next. And I reckon within a couple of days the next one will be open. But keep you posted. It'll be a long-term project because some of those blooms are probably going to take a couple of months before they actually open. Some not so long. But I'll try and remember to point back so that those that, even if you only did it in your mind and guessed and that sort of stuff, or whether you wrote it in a comment, you at least get to find out. So that's I don't think there's anything else lurking today. Oh, my cymbidium's going over. I won't say about time, but this takes up a lot of space for me at the moment, and I was pleased to get it to bloom, yes, but this is the telltale sign. The lip was effectively white with the deep colour on the end of the lip, and this is doing exactly the same thing as my Shelob Tolkien does. As the blooms start to die, they turn a much deeper colour. Quite honestly, it's nicer, but it is the sign that the spikes are about to go. So that one will be gone soon, and I'll then be looking for new growths. Having not owned cymbidiums before, I don't know at what point the new growth should come out, but I mean, that's last year's single new growth, and basically it had a next to nothing back bulb and a much smaller one to back it up. So it did grow a nice growth and pushed up 2 spikes, so I was pleased. But it would be nice to see more than one new growth this year, and then we can look forward to some more of that next year. But it won't be too long, and it's going out in the garden again. So it only takes up space during the winter. And during the winter a lot of my plants go in the house, so I can accommodate it, but I certainly won't be getting any more. Even though there are some nice miniatures around, one's enough, and I sort of inherited this and have an obligation to look after it, otherwise I wouldn't have any. But as it was a guess as to what the blooms were going to be like, I'm quite pleased with the colours I got, you know, and the fact that it bloomed, that was good. I don't know anything about keeping cymbidiums really. I just chuck it out in the garden, it has to fend for itself. Gets watered and fed whenever I do my bonsai basically. Gets rained on, gets a bit of morning sun, and then you know, as we head towards the colder weather in the autumn, it comes inside. And at the point I brought it in last autumn, the 2 spikes were just sort of starting to grow. So the spikes grew in here, which is good, because cymbidiums can actually react to a major change in their environment. So if these spikes were sort of forming their buds outside and I brought them in, that may well have blasted them. But the fact that the spikes were quite young, they developed in here. So this is their environment. They were happy with that. No, nothing else at the moment. As far as tonight's Orchid Society meeting is concerned, I was thinking of taking the Prima Donna along, but it's a faff. I've got quite a bit to do at the meeting tonight, to do with the coach trip and stuff, and to take plants along is just an overhead I can do without. But I may well take that to the show tomorrow. I got a feeling it won't do that well because it's got so many buds unopened. You know, it's not in full bloom. But I may take it along anyway. Decision not yet made. I like leaving things to the last minute sometimes. You know, keeps me on my toes, as they say. See you next time.